So isn't it about time for the police brutality to stop? I mean, we need good cops. We need good cops. And just like any group of people, you're going to have your good and your bad. That's why we have the checks and balances with the three branches of government. So there needs to be accountability, right? Shouldn't the police be held to account? Essentially, you have the police tail wagging the judicial branch dog. And the police are the executive branch. So, yeah, I want more Andy Griffiths. I want more Frank Serpicos. I want more good police officers. The rule of law says that everybody is below the rule of law. So if you're a police officer and you murder somebody, or you rape, or you rob, or you assault, use violence, that's a crime. That's a crime. Especially it has nothing to do with the course of your duties, right? Just to bully the neighborhood. So Politico.com, there's a story here, 2014 actually, that's what it says. But Frank Serpico is still alive. I had no idea. He did a demonstration with Kaepernick. But he wrote these 6 suggestions that we should try out. If we want to end the police brutality and the bullshit, because we need good cops. We need good cops. So they need to be trained properly. They need to, try to de-escalate the situation. On Andy Griffith, there was that drunk who was always in the drunk tank. He would always dry out right in jail. And then Aunt B would make him breakfast. And they treated them like people. Because ultimately, yeah, you want what? Throw them in jail and just ruin their fucking lives, keep them in jail forever? The idea is that once they get out, they're going to be reformed and they're going to be able to interact with the rest of us lawful people. So the only way we're going to get their humanity to come back is through love. So, being cold-hearted and oppressive, that's the last resort. But all other, options should be exhausted before we just try to smash, just smash them into compliance. That's not really them. So, you got to prevent people from hurting others, but, Andy Griffith and Frank Serpico. Frank Serpico took on a whole bunch of corrupt cops who are on the take. So you got this war on drugs that's going on here, but the cops were taking a bunch of money from the drug dealers to keep, mum. And then one day he got an envelope and it said, hey, this is your part of the nut. Hey, this is your part of the nut. And they say it has to do with the squirrel, but I think it makes more sense in terms of getting off, right? Here's your part of the nut. Or maybe it is the nut, the nut being the fucking pile of cash. And this is your piece of the nut. So Frank Serpico exposed him, said this shit was going on, told his commander, and then the commander was like, you better shut your mouth. So he, said this fucking bullshit, they were on the take, they were fucking corrupt, and they had a us versus them mentality, the thin blue line. It was, the cops are on this side, and everybody else was on that side. And so, there's a lot of issues that come to that because they're supposed to help the public, but instead they're operating as their own independent gang. So they're not actually helping the public. They're, they're doing what they think is okay, but they're only checking themselves. And so, internal affairs is a fucking joke. People aren't going to check themselves. That's why you have 3 branches of government. So anyways, number 1, strengthen the selection process and psychological screening process for police recruits. Police departments are simply a microcosm of the greater society. If your screening standards encourage corrupt and forceful tendencies, you will end up with a larger concentration of these types of individuals. 2, provide ongoing examples-based training and simulations, not only telling but showing police officers how they are expected to behave and react is critical. Number 3, require community involvement from police officers. Shop with a cop so they know the districts and the individuals they are police, and this will encourage empathy and understanding. 4, enforce the laws against everyone, including police officers. When police officers do wrong, use those individuals as examples of what not to do so that others know that this behavior will not be tolerated. and tell the police unions and detective endowment associations they need to keep their noses out of the justice system. They go through due process like everybody else. If it wasn't a fucking slaughterhouse, then, if you're guilty, then let the judge decide, let the jury decide. Everybody has a right to a jury trial. So, just like anybody else, if a police officer is charged with a crime, then put them in line. They gotta sit and wait for the judge to call them up, and then, enter their verdict or do whatever it is they're going to do. Go through the criminal justice system just like the rest of us. 5, support the good guys. This is essential. This is the reason why it feels like the entire police force is corrupt. The good guys are the ones that get their ass at Serpico. Serpico got his ass kicked. Even Bobby Fischer. Bobby Fischer represented. He was the face of of America in 1972. He kicked the Russians' ass in chess, so it showed that Americans were intelligent, and they had, their chess was financed by the government, is being subsidized by the government. And here he was, this sort of self-made, chess whiz. And he got his ass kicked by the cops, and he very much hated America for that. He did not like the United States of America because here he was this fucking champion. And, Muhammad Ali was kind of like that too. Got a gold medal in Rome and then came back and wasn't even allowed to sit in a restaurant. It was segregated. You got to get out of here, boy. You're the wrong color. And he was, just for being poor, carrying, his clothes on his back, Bobby Fischer. But there's been a lot of good guys. There's one guy that didn't shoot to kill one dude who was suicidal. So he had got reprimanded or fired because he didn't murder somebody. You had all those cops in Alabama or Mississippi who are, been fucking people over for decades, planting shit on them, and it was all fucking racist bullshit. So, it happens like all the time. What was that evidence? They planted the evidence, they reenacted the thing, or they planted the damn thing, and they videotaped it. Accidentally, the video, was 10 seconds earlier, captured it, they didn't know. And, God, I just go on and on and on, but the good guys, that's what Christopher Dorner started out as a good guy. Christopher Dorner saw a cop kick a person in a wheelchair, or a handicapped person, in the face. So he reported it. He saw a cop kick a handicapped person in the face. He reported it, and then all of a sudden he was blackballed, told to shut up, and then demoted. And then he felt like his name and reputation, he got fired and all that other shit. So he used to be a cop, and then he had nothing. So he flipped the fuck out. But he started off being a good guy. And so why are good guys or good cops who sit there saying, that's what you want. You want that in a police organization. You want people to make sure each one of, that they're all acting lawfully. If I'm the sheriff and I got a bunch of police officers underneath my jurisdiction, and I hear about one of them just, being a racist piece of shit, just going around, hitting black people or some shit, or just police brutality, right? Just people pulling people over and like shaking them down, or rape. There's rape happens in jail. So yeah, violence, rape, murder, stealing. These are all really fucking bad crimes. You're not on my team. You're going around raping people, stealing people, killing people. You're not on my team. My team is the good guys. We're the angels. We're the good guys. We're the anti-fascist good guys. And so we would be the ones, who de-escalate situations, try to solve them at the scene as best as possible, try to make it a win-win, amicable situation. So, I know it's not Andy Griffith. There's a lot of guns and shit out here. So, within reason, but still, it's just that I want the police to be on my side. So honest cops who tell the truth and behave should be honored. Excuse me. So they should be held up, honored, promoted, held up as strong positive examples of what it means to be a cop. Number 6, last but not least, police cannot police themselves. Develop permanent independent boards to review incidents of police corruption and brutality and then fund them well and support them publicly. Only this could change a culture that has existed since the beginnings of the modern police department. They were catching slaves. They were breaking strikes. So they're anti-union, anti-working class, anti-black. The origins of the police. It's not, so yeah, absolutely. We need a citizens complaint authority. So here in Pueblo, we need a citizens complaint authority. We need a independent citizen body group that is above the police. Essentially, it's the city council, right? Ostensibly. But a specific board, I think, would actually, with their, like a department, that is their duties, that is what they, you know, their entire thing is to make sure our cops are the good guys. I want good cops. I want the cops to be out there, you know, being heroes and stopping the criminals and doing, you know, what's right. So the only way to keep them honest is by having an independent review board. So I believe in a citizens complaint board for the city of Pueblo. And that's it. I mean, that's not too bad, right? Frank Serpico have good, honest men that's on there. I think you should know people's rights. They have, you know, the right to free speech. You should understand the law, that we're a charter government, so all of our laws come straight out of the charter. You should probably get updates from the state legislature. They're always passing new shit. City government's always passing new shit. So, Frank Serpico. Frank Serpico is emblematic of a good cop. So we need more Frank Serpicos. We need more Andy Griffiths. We need more good guys. And, you know, fuck the thin blue line. Fuck the thin blue line.